I'm very glad that that is the start of the podcast. Was Ben singing "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go"?
Are we live?
I just went to live while you were singing because I had to do it while you were singing.
I halfway expected that anyway, but
Here, you want me to join you? Wake me up.
First, I have to thank my girlfriend for getting that stuck in my head. Thank you, Brooke. Wake me up
before you go.
I'm not planning to be going
so low.
Wake me up
before you go.
Wake
me up.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a good time to plug. Hey, Ben has a Spotify, and he actually writes his own music and puts it on sometimes. Amazing.
I do, occasionally.
Amazing music.
Thank you.
I seriously do recommend it if you like more calm music. Hi, Ben.
Hi.
Welcome to the podcast. Good morning. I'm a little bit out of it. I apologize to everyone. I've been dealing with some homework stuff. You know what? Hey, I want to start with that because I'm upset. Ben, ask me why I'm upset.
Ethan, why are you upset?
Because I was working on my homework and
that's a fair reason to be upset. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story.
And so that's it. Podcast over. We're done. Everyone have a good night. Bye. Anyway, so I was working on my homework and it's in a class called Business Computer Applications. It's all about basics of computers, but also working with office applications, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Access. Business. I am a businessman, yes. And so,
buy, sell. Sorry.
What is that from? I don't remember.
That's from Brent, as far as I know.
That is? Okay, I didn't know that was from Brent. I just heard I thought he was quoting it all the time.
He might be.
But yeah, so I've been working on the word chapter, and so like the first lecture, I guess, was real simple. It was like, this is how you open a Word document. This is how you save. This is how you set name.
If I may I, teacher? I have a question.
What's your question, soldier?
I hate Microsoft Word and all the Microsoft Office suites because they, keyboard shortcuts, right?
And the fact that they aren't that on Microsoft stuff. So
when you press Control S in anything, it will save the thing that you're working on, the document, the file, whatever. If you pressed Control Shift S, then that will do Save As. So say you have a file, like say you have a template, and you open it up, and then you want to save as something else before you modify it so you don't overwrite the template like an idiot, which I've definitely done several times in the last week. Yeah, if you do Control Shift S, that just opens some stupid menu. It doesn't actually go to save as.
Hold on.
The other thing I hate Microsoft Office for is you go Control O to open a document, and instead of bringing up a file browser so you can browse for the file that you want, no. It goes to the stupid, would you like to look through these recent documents or OneDrive or press this button to go to a file browser? No! OneDrive is integrated with the file browser. If I wanted OneDrive, I'll find it in the file browser. When I press Control O, let me find the file I want without doing another click. That's stupid.
You're slowly turning into Jerry Seinfeld. Let me do what I want! I will say...
I've never seen any Seinfelds.
I haven't either. I had a friend, his name was Drew, and his two favorite people to impersonate was Jerry Seinfeld and Randy Newman.
You like jazz?
You like jazz? Anyway, but yeah, so what I will say, a little comment on your side tangent before going back to my tangent.
Layer steep, keep track of
the perpendicular. So, instead of just having a template, create a new document and just insert the text from the template. Because there is actually a button to directly insert from another document, and you don't have to worry about saving over a template. Anyway.
I'm America. I do what I want.
Calm down there, America. Anyway, so I was going through my Word homework, and I turned it in, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, I think I did pretty much everything right. I'm sitting there thinking... Okay, well, let me go do the next one, because it was 2 different assignments. And to do the second one, you have to complete the first one. And so I go back through, and it has right there, first assignment, done. Grade, 76. And I'm like, hold on now. And so I'm like, can I take a look at this? Luckily, yes. That's one of my biggest pet peeves is whenever I complete something, and it's like, no, you can't look at what you did wrong. I hate that. And I do have a couple of quizzes that do that. But no, so luckily this was like, yeah, this is what you did wrong, this is what you did wrong, this is what you did wrong. And I'm sitting there, and what it is the professor doesn't grade it. It compares it to, like, a base, and it's like, yeah, this was right, this was right, this was wrong. This was right, this was right, this was wrong. And so I was sitting there, and I was scrolling through, and I was looking at it. Some of the changes actually were me just being dense or slipping up. For example, one of the things is for author, you have to put Jade Evans as the author. I put Jade Evans as the title of the document, and that's on me. I'm willing to accept that. Another one is...
I worked with this program before, I think.
I would not be surprised. And then one of them was you're supposed to create a new paragraph. I forgot to do that. But fun fact, if you forget to create a new paragraph, it counts every other paragraph after it wrong because none of them are in the right place. Right? On top of that, here's another one. We had to create a watermark that said copy, and it said set to blue. Right? We're set to blue. So I went through, I set to blue, I set to the specific blue that it specifically asked for. It even told me it is exactly right here. It is under standard colors, number 8. So standard colors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, blue. Click on it. It was labeled blue. Click on it. Turn it in. Hey, that's wrong. You want to know why it was wrong? I'm on the 2021 version of Word. And it was comparing it to the 2019. There was a blue shift in there. But then there was another place that it did...
Blue shift is something else.
Blue shift is something else. So is red shift. That's a space term. Technically. But it's a physics term. But I'm going to stop interrupting myself. But then the other thing is, it had me put in a registered symbol. Like, hey, this is a company, it's registered. So I put that in. Mm-hmm. It's apparently different from the 2019 to the 2021 versions of Windows. So the issue I had was instead of my application being too old, it was too new.
Did you do like TM and it meant R or vice versa?
It was the exact same character. It was R. It was registered.
Same Unicode character?
As far as I know, yes. It told me to go through insert, symbols, insert a registered symbol. I went insert, symbols, insert a registered symbol. And I know that this was the issue because on the next assignment, I turned it in. I got the exact same things wrong with the exception of everything else. It said I had the wrong color of blue and I had the wrong registered trademark or registered symbol. And so I messaged my professor, told him everything. I sent him the document. I told him what went wrong. I even said I am willing to retake it because these homework assignments, you're supposed to be able to take it twice, right?
Yeah.
It's not letting me take it my second time.
Wonderful.
Wunderbar. So I'm like, and so it's just, it's super stupid and super dumb. And so... my issue is not Microsoft Word, it's this grading software that, like, and to be fair, the guy seems really cool. The professor, he seems really cool, he's really nice, he has an amazing last name. I've told you about him.
I don't recall, but I know you have, yeah.
I don't want to dox my professor on stream. I would DM you, but Discord is being live streamed to, like, here, so if I change it, it'll change there.
Butts? I work with a Butts.
Is his first name Harry?
No. There's a lot of Butts, so I'm not doxing anyway. It's just Butts.
Yeah. I've never met anyone with this professor's last name. But yeah, so besides that, schoolwork has been going well. I did some programming in Python. I'm going to be doing some networking. Also, hey, right now, the Super Bowl's going on.
Snake?
What did you in-sync?
Were you wrangling the one-eyed snake? Writing Python?
He wasn't one-eyed, but yeah.
Do you know what that
I do, and that's why I'm ignoring it.
So yes, the Super Bowl has been postponed for the sake of having our show. It was
Exactly.
a scheduling conflict.
Yeah.
We reached out.
So-
They were really
Yeah, they were like, yeah, absolutely. In fact, they decided they're going to run the commercials during our podcast instead, and we get all the money.
God. Could you imagine?
Seriously. You know what? Hey, since we're talking about it, do you have any like Super Bowl commercials that have just stuck in your head for years? Because I do.
The only thing that comes into mind is can't remember what it was, but I think it was Doritos like Turkey Baby. It was a combination of things.
Why does a Doritos one too?
Horrible amalgamation. No, the Tide one.
This
is actually a Tide commercial.
Oh, that reminds me of the Old Spice.
That was 1 or 2 years ago.
No, this one is from several. I was in middle school. It was a Doritos commercial where the dog, like the guy's making fun of a dog on the other side of a screen door, and then he opens up the Doritos, and the dog just tackles the door so hard that the guy gets knocked over with the door. And it's a Doritos commercial saying the dog really wanted Doritos. So that one just yeah. We actually had an English assignment to work with it. In middle school, it was an English assignment to go through the like the Super Bowl commercials and figure out how good a commercial is at selling something. I'm not entirely sure how it was related to English, but
hello, welcome to English 101.
I actually did have an English class that was basically advertising, but that was in college. And it was a business English.
That's what advertising is. Really.
That's, yeah, business.
Which I have taken, and it was mostly common knowledge.
Are you a communications major?
No, but my wonderful girlfriend is.
Communications majors. Do you guys have that stereotype over in where you're from?
I don't know. What's the stereotype?
The stereotype, and this is nothing against anyone in communications. It's just the stereotype is people in communications have no idea what they're doing with college, and so they just pick communications just because they don't care about college. I don't believe that. I don't believe that, but that is a very big stereotype.
No, that's more liberal arts or business.
Look, we have it for liberal arts too, but it's.
But no, I've never heard about that.
It's actually a Cards Against Humanity cards.
It's possible I'm just oblivious. It wouldn't be the first time.
Skyrim oblivious?
No. Anyway.
Anywho, how are you? Hi, welcome to the internet.
Hi, welcome. Have a look around.
We got fun and
Anything
games.
that brain of yours can think of can be found.
Speaking of
finding Apple AirTags. Are we getting into the news now? Is that what we're doing? Too late. All right, we have an update.
I think that takes the win for the smoothest transition we've had on the podcast. Episode 5, where speaking of
what do you mean?
finding,
That was the worst.
no,
Silence. Speaking of finding,
no,
Apple AirTags.
Did I say worst? I thought I said smoothest.
You said smoothest. I just disagree.
Oh no, I thought it was smooth. No, I was before. I'm gonna cut you off and just say I got a haircut. Thanks, Mom.
Just one.
Yeah. No, my mom always cuts my hair, and she does such a good job, and my hair always looks so nice.
Fabulous, darling.
Maybe I'm born with it. Maybe it's fabulous. Wait, what's the company? Maybelline.
No, we're not sponsored. We can't say that.
Maybelline.
Babel Bean.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba.
We are also not sponsored by Babbel. So we have an update on Apple AirTags. Remember, I brought that up 2 shows ago.
No, it was last show. It was the last show. But hey, for those of us who may not remember, bring it up again.
So, the BBC reported that, well, first just conceptually, that Apple AirTags are a great way to stalk people. If you're not familiar with Apple AirTags, they're a neat little, like, quarter-sized doohickey that uses Apple's Find My network. Oh, I changed the lighting on my keyboard again. We have to stop the show.
Okay, hold on. We're going on a break.
No, don't. That is used for, you could like strap it onto your luggage or put it in your purse or something. Like
On your keys.
It's like a tile, if you've heard of that, where you can put it on your keys. It uses the Find My network, so like you use Find My iPhone, you can find my AirTag, and you can name this one Keys, and then you can go into the app and be like, there it is. I found my keys. They're in my neighbor's driveway. My wife is cheating on me.
That escalated very quickly.
Thank you. So people will be like, people will buy an AirTag, name it, stalk this person, and throw it in somebody else's bag or whatnot. Usually women, of course, are the victims.
Yeah.
And yeah, use it for stalking because it is so precise and useful for tracking things that you can turn a person into a thing.
Women are not things. Just want to clarify.
Absolutely.
Men debatable. Women are not things.
No. But yes, it has been reported to the BBC that there is evidence at the very least that people are actually being tracked with AirTags, which I 100% believe.
There's evidence? There's been articles written about it all over. If there wasn't evidence, there definitely is now, because people are like, oh, you can do this, and go out and buy Apple tags.
Yeah. So the discussion question is, why are people awful? Part 2.
That's like...
But anyway.
I was just going to say, that's like me coming up to you and going, hey, Ben, did you hear about the vulnerability I have in my computer? Oh, you didn't? Well, now you do. Like, writing it...
I'll take it.
Yeah. Anyway.
Log4j, am I right?
How do we always relate it back to the first episode? Hey, speaking of relating things back, this is your bi-weekly reminder that David is very smart. Anyway, continue.
Knew that was coming.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Finally getting to the article at hand. So, Apple plans to introduce a number of changes to make it harder to misuse AirTags to track someone. The buzz-in-size devices are designed to work with... I already said that. Company said its changes will make it more difficult. Apple launched AirTags last year. Okay, as part of the changes to make misuse harder, Apple said every user setting up their AirTag for the first time will see a message warning that using the device to track people without consent is a crime in many regions around the world. I'm sure that'll definitely deter threat actors. However, also, currently iPhone users receive an unwanted tracking alert if an unknown AirTag moves with them. Apple announced that people will be alerted earlier that an unknown AirTag is traveling with them. Additionally, without reading the article word for word, they also made it louder. So when it's because you can say to an unwanted AirTag, you can say, make a noise so I can find you and kill you. No, I'm not Liam Neeson. So there's that. There is also the ability to, once an unwanted AirTag has been identified, you can use precise tracking to find it. So previously, only the owner of an AirTag could precisely locate. So it'll like show an arrow on your phone of like, look this way, go that way. You can do that with unwanted AirTags now. So,
I mean, that can once again go both ways, I feel like.
Okay, elaborate.
So, Ben, I play a lot of video games, right?
Thank you.
And sometimes if I want to find something, and there's an arrow that points at it, that arrow also works through walls.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the details behind the precise, but like, but
I believe so, yes.
But like, the other thing is, if you start calling it out, hey, I just now noticed something I want to point out. You put new things week of 2/13/21.
What year is it?
2022, sir.
No, what year? What year is it?
2021, 22. Anyway, but I feel like the sound could be a double-sided coin. At least in my head. Sometimes you don't. If you're trying to like hide from someone and you want to find the thing, you don't exactly may not want it making noise.
What do you mean if you're trying to hide from someone?
I mean,
because only the Only the AirTag that was identified as unwanted. Oh, you're saying if you're trying to hide the other person could activate the sound? Because that was already the case. You can have it make a sound as the owner. You can have it make a sound.
Okay, I might be missing a lot that was actually mentioned from last week, and I'm just, but yeah. Okay. And then.
So, what do you think about these improvements? Do you think they're good? Do you think they're enough?
I think you and I actually talked about like certain improvements that they could make, and then I think they rolled one of them out. Because I think you and I mentioned that there should be something that goes up sooner.
Like sooner, and also I think we mentioned counter tracking.
Yes. But the way I thought about it, so okay, in my class we've been talking about the logic behind programming.
Yep.
And so I was just kind of thinking about the logic behind all of it, where what you could do is AirTag, Apple device it's paired with, right? And then on this finger is the Apple device of a user that is trying to be stalked. So what if you have it where it goes along, and then once it splits, then it sends the notification. Once there's a certain distance to this phone saying, hey, there's an Untitled nearby. So then you don't run into the issue of, hey, while these two are close, it's not hey, this person's actually just tracking their keys. But then once they split, then you can possibly send that notification.
No, I think that's worse.
No,
you don't know when you're being followed. You know after you've been followed. If I understand you correctly.
Well, no. Do we need to create a diagram? Do I need to think more? Well, I'll think more about it.
You're saying if they're going together and then send the notification once they split?
Send the notification to the phone that's being tracked. To the person that's being stalked, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, malicious AirTag, legitimate AirTag, if they're following, only send the notification to the legitimate after it's split apart?
Not the AirTag, the phone.
Well, yeah, to the phone of the victim. Yeah, no, because then you only know after you're being followed. You don't know when you're being followed.
Well, I mean, what's the distance on these AirTags? That's what I'm saying. What if instead of
they're accurate down to 0.1 meter?
Okay, so if I'm,
I believe that's 10 centimeters, but I'm American, so
it is. If I'm okay, this is gonna sound bad, but if I'm stalking someone, I'm not gonna be right behind them. There's gonna be a gap, right?
No, but you don't have to be. That's the thing. You put the AirTag in, and the AirTag is in the same bag. That sort of thing. Is it in the same purse?
Of the person that you're stalking.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, though, is as a person, if I'm stalking someone, I'm not going to be right behind them, especially if I have an AirTag. If there's even a little bit of a distance, say 3-4 feet, what if that was enough to trigger, hey, this person was close and now they're not, but they've been keeping the same distance, and this tag has been really close to you for a set amount of time. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 seconds, 3 seconds, things like that.
So if the owner goes away, but the owner of the malicious AirTag goes away, but the malicious AirTag stays with them?
Exactly. Or not even goes away, just the distance increases to something reasonable, like 3 foot.
Oh, so you're trying to specifically detect the dropping off of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Not the disconnect.
I understand.
Yeah, not the disconnect, but the dropping off. That's what at least that's what I thought. I don't know how the coding works behind Apple devices, especially these Apple AirTags, but in my head, that's what I would try to work out.
That's not a bad idea.
So, thanks.
If that's how it works.
Yeah, thanks. Man, maybe I should look into going in IT or something.
I think you should work for Apple. Not Apple. Apple. Anyway, you want to talk about another tech company?
I was going to say, speaking of other companies. So I don't remember if we mentioned this, but if we didn't, I'm going to do a quick recap. A couple of weeks ago, it was actually January 18th. It was before our previous podcast. Microsoft purchased Activision Blizzard. Activision Blizzard is known for things like StarCraft, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Call of Duty. Activision is in charge of all of the Call of Duty games these days. And fun fact, even Candy Crush. So
They own King, right? That's the parent company for Candy Crush.
Yeah. So Activision bought them. Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, and so that means things like StarCraft, Overwatch, World of Warcraft can show up on Xbox Game Pass or PC Game Pass, right? And so that's just kind of the short little talk. In case anyone was wondering, they bought it for $68.7 billion. That's a lot of money. So
close.
So close, I know. 0.3 billion off. So about a week later, 2 weeks later, Sony, the rival company for Microsoft, purchased Bungie. Now, for those who don't know who Bungie is, they're the guys who created, originally, Halo and Destiny. If I remember correctly, 343 was the main company that created Halo. Bungie split off to create Destiny, and then 343 was owned by Microsoft and still is. It's why Halo is a Microsoft exclusive. So now that Bungie has been bought by Sony, Destiny could possibly become a Sony exclusive, though I heavily, heavily doubt it. What's even more funny is the original reason Bungie split off from 343 is because they wanted to get away from Microsoft. So then they were their own company, and then they were underneath Activision. And then Microsoft bought Activision. This was a while back, I will say.
Yeah, I figured, but the interesting...
Yeah.
Everything coming together.
Yeah, and so they were underneath Activision, and then they left Activision, and now Microsoft has bought Activision, and so Sony purchased Bungie for $3.6 billion, which is a minuscule amount compared to the $68 billion that they used to buy Activision. But
Microsoft used you said they, which would refer to Sony.
Sorry, yes, Microsoft. And so, but yeah, so what this means is in the future, things we could look at, Call of Duty games could become an Xbox exclusive or a Microsoft exclusive. I doubt that, but it's a possibility.
That would be in their interest.
It wouldn't, but at the same time, Call of Duty makes a lot of money, and if they limit that to Xbox consoles, they could have tons of people from PlayStation purchasing Xbox or a computer just to play Call of Duty, or Call of Duty
Mobile. They don't make money on the consoles. That's been known for years.
Yeah.
They don't make money on buying the console. They make money on you buying into the ecosystem, which is what the console represents.
Yeah. But then the other thing is, what are they called? Microtransactions. Call of Duty is filled with them. Call of Duty is anything Activision is filled to the brim, almost as bad as EA, almost. Microtransactions can die and perish and burn. Terrible, terrible thing. But because it actually supports gambling. Anyway, that's a different side tangent for some other podcast. But yeah, so now that Sony owns Bungie, it's like they have weight. Because Bungie owning Destiny, and if they make it...
They gained weight? That's kind of rude.
It really is. Now the Bungie cord doesn't hold them anymore. You could say they weigh 343 pounds. 343 company. Yeah. And so, but yeah, so now if Microsoft says, hey, we're going to make Call of Duty an exclusive, Sony has the ability to say, okay, Destiny is going to be a PlayStation exclusive.
A stalemate.
It could authentically become a Cold War between Microsoft and Sony. Some people have mentioned that could happen. I personally doubt it, but there's just one other thing that people haven't accounted for. Bungie heavily worked on Halo. Enough so that they have some rights to it. Specifically, I think Halo 3, which is debated the best Halo game. And so there could be some sort of legal dispute if Microsoft uses Halo and puts some of the Halo 3 what are the words? Not attributes, elements into a Halo game. It would be an absurd lawsuit, but it could happen. Granted, all of these things are like crazy, like, this is a very possible thing, but at the same time, I heavily doubt it. But the main reason Sony did purchase Bungie, I like saying Bungie in the end, is to stay away from Microsoft, to keep Bungie away from Microsoft. There's a quote from the PlayStation blog post. I want to be very clear to the community that Bungie will remain an independent and multi-platform studio and publisher. But the thing is, with that, they still have to stay under Sony and whatever Sony says. So it's just...
I mean, how often do you see, especially a large company, buy another company and say, yeah, we're going to change everything? No, they always say, oh, we're going to keep it the same, trust me.
Activision did that with Bungie, actually, with Destiny 2. It's one reason Bungie left Activision.
Came in and said they're going to change everything?
They said they weren't going to do that, and then did.
Well, Activision Blizzard is also kind of horrible company.
They are. They have had several walkouts already in 2022 just because of sexual harassment. But yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting future because you have Sony and Microsoft starting to go head to head even more so. The possibility of this Cold War starting to break out. Microsoft,
in the gaming field, Microsoft is still much larger than
Sony. Just because
Sony is far more diversified, though.
Sony has tons of amazing single-player games, too. But the thing is, if you would name a gaming company, chances are 9 out of 10 they're owned by Microsoft in some way.
Yeah, monopolies.
No, they don't own Monopoly. That's owned by Hasbro, which is owned by Warner Brothers.
Owned by Warner Brothers?
I made that second part up.
I thought so.
I'm looking it up. Hold on. Who owns Hasbro? Does anyone?
I would eat my tongue if it was Warner Brothers.
It's owned by the Vanguard Group.
I'm very glad it's not Warner Brothers.
That would have been funny, though. The Hasbro Warner Brothers. At least I thought that'd be amusing. But yeah, I agree. Microsoft still has quite a head on just so many companies. But at the same time, PlayStation has really good quality, like, single-player games. And a lot of them are being ported over to the PC, Steam.
Everything is being ported over to PC because PC Master Race.
I'm not getting into that debate right now.
PC Master Race, fight me. Speaking of the lines between PCs and consoles, the Steam Deck.
You took my transition. that was smooth. Also, I do want to say we are trying to make this podcast a bit shorter just because Super Bowl's going on. Valentine's Day is tomorrow. We're trying to give people a slight break, but we still wanted to do it. Yeah.
Yes, Steam Deck first impressions are out from reviewers. There's still lots of embargoes, but it is officially released on February 25th. Heard it here, not first, folks.
Well, I actually heard it here first because I hadn't heard it anywhere else. No, I've just heard about the Steam Deck. I've heard the reviews are good. I did not know when it was being released. Wait, the 25th, you said?
25th. Yes, there are 25 days in February.
No, I was looking. I thought that was the next date of our next podcast.
That'd be fun.
No, we're the 27th.
Okay, we will not have them. Have you ordered one?
No, I haven't.
Do you want one?
Kind of, but at the same time, no.
Why not?
Plain and simple money. I need to be saving money for a wedding with someone. I don't know what kind of nerd would get married, though. Hey, nerd, what kind of nerd would get married?
What? Couldn't hear that.
I'm making fun of you. I'm just making fun of her. Okay, continue. The Steam Deck.
Oh, the starting price being $400 is actually very impressive. We are far from the first to talk about that specifically, but yeah, 400. I mean, the Switch is what, $350?
I'm looking up the Switch OLED, and you can get it from Walmart for $417, or you can get it from I want the Nintendo website, the official Nintendo website, for $350.
Walmart, what are you doing?
Well, to be fair, that's on the
Might be
cheaper
a
end.
game bundle.
Sears said they're selling it for $630.
Sears still exists?
It's a different type of Sears.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Um,
But yes, for a comparable price to the Switch, you can get like an actual computer.
yeah.
Like that's pretty hard to beat. I mean, don't get me wrong. The Switch has some excellent titles. Oh, that's another thing we could talk about. I didn't think about that. Yeah, Nintendo Switch Sports. But yes, mostly what Nintendo has going for them is their first party titles, because
They're amazing.
they're amazing, and I love Nintendo, and everyone loves Nintendo, but everyone really kind of shouldn't, and I think a lot of people know that because they're just so aggressively anti-consumer. They just hate the people who buy their products.
I think that more comes from the culture that the company comes from. But I will say they still have their good moments. Like, for example, whenever the Wii U sales were so terrible, the CEO docked his own pay instead of everyone else's. Like that's a noble gesture to me.
That's a culture thing, I know.
Yeah.
And that is good.
Yeah, but no, going back to talk about new games for Switch. Oh, actually, if you want to finish up on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, Steam Deck. So first impressions are out, and from everything that I've seen, it looks very favorable. It looks like it really genuinely lives up to the hype. I honestly don't do enough gaming to bother with it, but like, someone gave it to me. That'd be pretty cool, you know?
So
I wouldn't ask for it for Christmas, but it's a really cool product, for sure.
I have a confession. I know nothing about the Steam Deck, but sorry, the stream messed up a little bit. I know nothing about the Steam Deck besides it is a Steam product. What is it? Is it portable Steam?
It is obviously a Switch type form factor, mobile handheld PC. It runs AMD. What's the freaking architecture? I want to say Zen. I'm just gonna say Zen 2, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The AMD Zen 2 architecture, but Valve worked directly with AMD as a partner to design this APU.
Huh.
Like LTT, Linus Tech Tips, did a teardown on a live stream, and literally the processor has the Valve icon
That's
on it.
super
It's
cool.
pretty cool. It's really cool. It's a little finicky, but it does use M.2 for storage. I think. It is a bit fit, and it's also not going to fit a full-size drive. It has to be like of specific. But
Yeah.
even if it's not M2, I could be wrong. It is something relatively standard that you can buy a replacement for, and they've done an excellent job. It's not like you know about the Framework laptop, right?
No.
Oh my God, Ethan. It's not like the Framework, for those of you who do know, where repairability and modularity is like the number one priority, but it was a priority. So, for example, Steam or Valve did release their own teardown. It was a very simple teardown. It wasn't the best, but like this was months ago, their own teardown showing how easy it is to replace a joystick module, to replace the RAM, to
At Switch.
I lied. Not replace RAM. You can't do that. It's soldered.
So what I'm hearing is you can try.
No, don't. But yes, it's from Linus Tech Tips Teardown. It's really easy to replace the thumbstick modules. It's possible to replace pretty much anything in it. I mean, dude, I don't know how easy like the display would be The little touchpads on it are a little difficult, but it's possible. The battery is actually a bit of a pain, but I wouldn't be surprised if people are able to make a specific tool to get it
Yeah.
out and replace it, because replaceable batteries are good.
So, with this, if I go out, say, February 25th, and I purchase a Steam Deck,
You won't get it on the 25th, but
this is all hypothetical, because I wouldn't be getting it probably anyway, unless someone gave it to me as a gift. So if I go out and I purchase a Steam Deck, and I turn it on, it says, log in with your Steam information, I can then just say download Dark Souls, because I own Dark Souls on Steam.
yeah.
Or I could play...
It runs SteamOS, which, as you may recall, is Linux-based, but they're completely revamping SteamOS. It is now based on Arch Linux,
Ooh.
and, by the way, and it runs KDE. It is obviously a custom user interface designed by Steam, but yes.
I saw that processing.
So the actual system UI is custom, but it's based on KDE. And the Steam Big Picture mode is also being revamped specifically for Steam Deck.
Do people use Big Picture mode for Steam?
Occasionally.
I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't like it.
Occasionally.
But
you're familiar with the Steam controller, yes?
I don't have one, but yes.
I have one. When they were on super cheap sale a year or two ago, because they were just wanted to freaking get rid of them. It was like what, $15 plus shipping? I was like, hell yes, I'm buying a $15 Steam controller. No, they're sold out. You can't get them anymore.
Why did the search result come up with Steam controller Switch? That was the recommended for me.
Probably to see if it would it work. I highly doubt it, but that would be interesting.
I can buy one on Amazon for
Probably secondhand.
Yeah, secondhand.
Or eBay. But yes, if
$89.
It's a very unique controller. It is designed to be both the hardware for the physical controller and Steam's controller configuration. I think configurator might be a trademark term, actually. I don't know.
I just want to say I could get one from Amazon for $200.
Wow.
But that's new. It's new. Continue.
Yes, it's very unique in that it's designed to be very customizable and able and adaptable, so you can play any game on it. You might not necessarily want to, as compared to keyboard and mouse, but you can. So
Any game...
It has gyroscope. It has two giant circular trackpads with haptic feedback, which is 6 out of 10. It's not the best, but it's pretty cool. Instead of having a D-pad, the left trackpad has like a little indent in the shape of a plus. But you could, if you don't want to use that, you could just use it as just a trackpad. The other one is smooth. Analog triggers with a click at the end. Has paddles on either side on the back. Has one joystick, ABXY of course, start menu, Steam. And I believe that's everything, except to mention that you can also press on either of the trackpads. And I mean, that's how the D-pad works. It's like, okay, your finger is up here and you're pressing, so that's up. Your finger is down
D-pad,
here and you're pressing, so it's down. Since it's not a physical D-pad. It's a very, very unique controller. In my experience, it is very interesting. I like it. Its main use, to my knowledge, I don't know if it was designed this way specifically, but its main use is really for like big picture gaming, so that you are able to play, like I say, any game, including like Civilization or something that's mouse and keyboard only, to use the Steam controller to play that, because you can map all the inputs cleverly.
I mean, you can do that with any controller if you have enough know-how and willpower.
Okay, but having the trackpads,
Yeah, that's
especially for a game that's designed for mouse and keyboard and doesn't have controller support.
PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 controller. It has the trackpad. It just has one though.
PlayStation 4 controller has a trackpad?
Yeah, the big home button is a trackpad. Isn't it?
You could be. I don't know freaking anything about.
I have one, and I push the home button, and you can like move the map around while like going around on it. I thought it was a trackpad.
Maybe. I don't know. I literally have no idea. Okay, I see the bit that you're talking about at least. Probably,
Yeah.
sure. But it's not really. That doesn't look like it's designed to be like a primary input.
It's not the same thing, but yeah.
So, point being, in the similar sort of design philosophy, the Steam Deck has a buttload of inputs and can be mapped to, and you can use the same. Actually, I haven't seen the UI. The UI is still actually under embargo, but I'm assuming you can use the same or similar configuration tool to map the inputs to anything you want. So it has two square-shaped trackpads, like the Steam controller.
Words are hard.
It has two joysticks, has ABXY.
Triggers.
I believe it has a proper D-pad. Analog triggers, no button at the end. And two
Aw.
paddles on the back. Front-facing speakers, which apparently sound like really good.
What about bumpers?
It has bumpers, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Of course. Sorry, the Steam controller also has bumpers because
I was just thinking
the
about
controller
that.
doesn't have bumpers.
You
I'm trying to think of any other inputs. Gyro on the Steam Deck as well.
the
Yes,
Wiimote. The Wiimote doesn't have bumpers. The Nunchuck does. It has a bumper, but the Wiimote doesn't.
Ethan, you didn't raise your hand before speaking. No, you may not go to the bathroom. So
You
yes,
took my
the Steam Deck
joke!
is very impressive. The Steam Deck is very impressive, not only in it's just a good thing. Like I can't. The versatility, the portability. It is a bit of a thick boy, but the fact that it is a computer.
Yeah.
It's as far as I know, it is 64. It's x86 64 architecture.
So I could still go through like a file explorer.
Yes, I believe it will. I believe it will have an onboard one. From what I understand, it's an operating system. It's a computer,
So
and you can load Windows on it.
So what I'm
You
hearing
can load any
is
type of Linux you want on it.
it could
Please
become.
don't, but you could make a Hackintosh out of it.
I'm not going to
Please
make a
don't.
Hackintosh. What I was going to say is probably even dumber. I could use it as a work computer.
Yeah, you genuinely could because it has a USB-C input, only one, unfortunately. But that is Thunderbolt.
No,
So you
I
can
don't need
hook up
USB-C. I need network.
What?
I just need connection to a network, which I assume it has a built-in NIC. Probably.
It has Wi-Fi.
Yeah, wireless NIC, right?
But with USB-C Thunderbolt, you can plug in a dock. You can plug in a dongle that has Ethernet, that has HDMI or DisplayPort, that has extra USB. You can, and they are going to develop. They haven't released it, but they've formally announced, and it's on the Steam Deck website that they will be making a dock for it. So you plug it in, it charges, and you can have
Big
it
screen.
be your freaking computer.
So
It's so cool.
so they are just it's a competition for the Switch.
More than that, it's so much more. It's in a class of its own. There are other. I mean, Linus Tech Tips has said the same thing. There are other handheld PCs, but the polish on this, the performance of it, the support, the fact that Valve is the one making it and pushing for greater Linux support for gaming, it is a completely different thing. It's a class of its own.
Yeah, I think it'd be really cool to have a Steam Deck just to like mess with it, see what it's like.
Yeah, like it's.
You know, if you're bored at work, you just whip it out and start playing Risk of Rain 2 with your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it could run Risk of Rain 2 just fine. It can run
Probably better than your computer could.
false. I got a new GPU. It works now. It runs Forza 5, which is a Microsoft title through Proton just fine.
Seriously? Forza 5? It's
Yes.
like, that's new, isn't it? And
Yes.
that game
I don't
is
know like at what settings, but it runs
5
fine.
FPS.
No.
5 FPS 144.
No. I believe I want to say it's a 16 by 10 1080p screen, which is more than enough for that size.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the
honestly, you can even turn down the details in any demanding game to get better performance, and at that size, it looks fine.
the default Switch whenever it was released was at 720. The OLED is 1080 handheld, but the default
it?
I think so, yeah.
You're probably right. I just forgot about that.
But no, that's actually really cool. I think I might look
Really cool.
I think I might look into getting one.
And they've also apparently done some magic that if you like store your games on a micro SD card, which has micro SD expansion, because of course it does.
Good.
It runs like more or less as fast as the onboard storage.
That
I don't know what magic they've done, but like it's really good.
That's hard to do.
It's not as good, but it's
close enough.
a reasonably negligible difference.
I'm gonna start playing Skyrim on. Actually, Skyrim's already on Switch.
The Steam Deck is so cool. It's one of those things that's just so cool that I wish I needed it. You know?
I can understand that. It feels
Like,
it feels like obsolete enough that if I got one, I don't know if I would ever use it, but at the same time, I want one. Like a lava lamp. You know, it's like that's really cool just to look at. You're about to go get your lava lamp, aren't you? And he's gone. All right, we're ending the stream there. He's gone.
I don't want to get the base because I don't know if
I have the exact same lava lamp. Not in,
what do you mean the same? It's a lava lamp. The same colors?
yeah, the same colors. Yeah.
He's bubbly up there. I don't know if it's supposed to be.
Well, have you opened it lately?
No.
Oh.
Don't open it.
You're supposed to take a drink from it, like what, once a week? Make sure it stays low?
No, don't do that.
This is a PSA, do not drink from your lava lamp. Also, there are like safety regulations. Do not have lava lamp on longer than like an hour or something.
Yeah, they're also really hot and just inefficient and kind of bad.
But they're cool.
They are cool. But yeah, the Steam Deck, I don't do enough gaming, and especially not portable gaming, that I would have a real use for it.
I do.
But it's super cool.
I did a lot of portable gaming whenever I lived on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would carry my Switch around. Sometimes I would just sit at the fountain on campus and just sit down and start playing Switch. Sometimes my roommate would come with me. We'll just play Smash Bros. But like these days, I think it would be nice. It's gonna sound dumb. Sometimes I'm just too lazy to go upstairs and get to my computer, and it'd be nice just to be able to sit there on my PC Switch, be able to just lounge about, and just.
I wonder if you'd be able to use
the Joy-Cons.
I'm just describing the Wii U. If you could use the Steam Deck as a controller for another computer. I'm just describing a Wii U.
That's just a Wii U.
But PC.
PCU.
But I do wonder if that's possible. That might be kind of cool.
I mean, Linux.
Yeah.
No,
it's like I say, you can install Windows.
We're not doing a Hackintosh.
Linux. No, I'm sure someone will, and honestly, I'm here for it. Someone please do it, so no one else has to.
I'm gonna get it and start doing my homework on it. Hey, what are you doing? I'm programming a website.
I'm super interested in Linus Tech Tips is planning a video where Linus is going to daily drive the Steam Deck as a computer. And I really want to see how that goes, because if it's practical, I would very strongly consider it.
I mean, it could just replace a laptop. Wait, does it have Bluetooth?
Yes.
You could Bluetooth the keyboard. It could just replace a laptop.
It doesn't have a kickstand. I don't know who made that decision to not have
I no longer support this.
To be fair, the controllers don't detach, so I
Yeah.
guess you could watch a movie on it with a kickstand. But D-Brand is also making a case for it, which is kind of like their grip for phones. And as part of that, it'll have a kickstand.
I was going to say, just get one of those kickstands that people make for phones.
Pop socket for your Steam.
Yeah, that's exactly it. But no, like
pop sockets were a thing like not long ago.
Yeah, I never got one.
Neither did I.
It's just I don't want that big bulky thing on my.
I'm a very not fad-y person. Like if there's a
yeah,
fad,
you're pretty thin.
I just avoid it.
Honestly, same here.
Pop sockets, Big Brother.
Fidget spinners.
Brent has like 3 fidget spinners at his desk, but it's all stuff that he got from like conferences. And 2 of them are like the worst fidget spinners ever. They're really disgusting and depressing to spin.
That's like, I don't ever go out and buy them. I would never want to. And if people give them to me, I'll be honest, I've thrown away like 2 fidget spinners.
I learned that Brooke got a fidget cube.
Fidget cubes are cool.
Like a long time ago.
Fidget cubes are
cleaning out
cool.
her backpack, and she was cleaning her room, and I grabbed it and began fidgeting.
Yeah, no, I've seen fidget cubes. They're pretty cool. In middle school, did I ever tell you what the equivalent of an Ethan fidget cube was? A deck of cards. Anytime I wanted to fidget,
You're one of those nerds that can like do the whole fancy.
I used to.
Are you one of those nerds who can shuffle a deck of cards? Because I am not great at it.
I used to be able to shuffle a deck of cards with just one hand. Used to.
Nerd.
Hey, so
Nerd.
Speaking of portable games,
Nerd.
I just want to make a passing comment. Pokemon Legends Arceus, amazing game. Amazing game. If you have a Switch and you like Pokemon, give the game a try. That's all I wanted to say about that.
I'm ready for my crucifixion. I've never played Pokemon.
That's okay.
No, I got ready for my...
Hey, I mean, everyone
I'm wearing
has...
my special underwear and everything. You have to give me something.
Everyone has their own game likes and dislikes. For example, I think Fortnite is a piece of trash and deserves to rot. But...
I mean, so does Valorant. Anyway.
I'm going to start throwing hands
Anyway,
now.
what's this weird thing that you put on my computer screen?
So, okay, so... For those who don't know, did you open the link? Don't open the link. Don't open the link.
I haven't.
Okay, good. So, let me first ask, do you know who John DiMaggio is?
I mean, it rings a bell.
So, he's a voice actor. Not to be confused with Joe DiMaggio, the baseball player. John DiMaggio.
That's probably what I had in my head, actually.
So, let me ask. If I say that the character, Jake the dog, from Adventure Time, that's John DiMaggio.
Okay.
He's also known for other things. One of his other big famous actors is Bender from Futurama.
Express.
Is he in the Polar Express?
No.
You just said the...
I heard that the reboot...
Okay, so
That
they're rebooting Futurama.
Not with DiMaggio as Bender.
So currently they're rebooting. All the previous actors and actresses are coming back except John DiMaggio. The reason is he wants to, but the people who have rebooted it said they're trying to talk it out with him and they are not being flexible. You have to realize, in the Futurama show from Season 1, Episode 1 to the grand finale of Season 9, Episode 13, I think, he voiced over 100 different characters in that show.
Really? Not just Bender?
Not just Bender. He's also the voice of Zoidberg, which is the lobster guy. He's
Futurama at some point.
It's a good show. It's actually my favorite show, just of all.
From what I understand, it's very much like a cult classic sort of thing, where it's not as popular as like The Simpsons, but it's more loved. By the
Agreed.
people who do.
Agreed. If you sit down and watch it, I think if you can get through it, like the first couple of episodes, you'll fall in love. But if you have a hard time getting through those first couple of episodes, you're gonna have a hard time through the whole thing.
I feel like it would be up my alley.
It definitely would, because like I said, I love it. Abby,
It feels kind of like a nerdier, less stupid Simpsons.
that's 100% what it is. There are tons of like clever science jokes. For at one point in time they arrest Erwin Schrödinger. And they're like, "What's in the box?" And he goes, "My cat. Is it alive or dead? We'll answer the man." And so like they do that.
Okay.
I'd
feels
say
like a bit of a cheap joke, but not bad.
that was one of the cheap jokes though. But
Yeah.
fun fact, one of the episodes actually created a mathematical theorem called the Futurama Theorem. And to this
Really?
day, it is the only show that has a theorem created because of it. You can Google Futurama Theorem, and it's an actual thing they teach in math lectures.
I love that. Okay.
On top of that, the creators had like a total of 12 doctorates combined over things like theoretical physics, astrophysics, straight up physics, biology, just all sorts of things. They like the people who created it were so intelligent. It's like the only way I can put it.
Very highbrow humor.
Yes, and so it like they still have like their low points of humor, and I'll like those aren't as funny to me. And for some people, they're hysterical. But that's the thing, though, is they don't force it. Things like The Simpsons or Family Guy or American Dad, they just kind of force it, and it's just
They all have kind of the same style of humor. Of
it's
stupid Americans.
It's dumb humor. That's all it is. But Futurama is not that at all. And fun fact, if I remember correctly, the show has been canceled 3 times, and this is its 4th time, like starting.
Starting up. Does it have similar I'm not expecting the same thing, but similar vibes to A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I haven't ever seen the show, but the book, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it's up my alley then.
I will say, like, there are also tons of meta jokes. For example, whenever they got canceled, and then they came back, because it's a shipping company, and they came back and they said, the people who canceled us got fired, and we were put back on the air. As a meta joke. Another thing they did is halfway through the series, they released 4 episodes that were straight to DVD, or 4 movies that were straight to DVD. And
4 movies?
4 movies. All 4 of them are amazing movies too.
They just like dropped 4 movies?
The reason is they were leading up to the fact that the show is coming back, but not under Fox, under Comedy Central. And so the show came back, but one of the last few lines in the 4th movie that led up to it being changed, they go through a wormhole that's like the shipping canal, but it was supposed to be like something funny, and they say, yeah, so now we're on a funny channel or something like that. Or we're on a comedy channel, and it's on Comedy Central now. And so they make meta jokes a lot, or sometimes they'll take they'll like, oh, what's the word? They they impersonate other things. They did an impersonation of Murder
Like
on
a
the Polar
spoofing.
Express. Yeah. And so it's a seriously good show. It's what I call my my guilty pleasure show, or my comfort show. If I'm like in a funk or I'm kind of sad, I'll sit down and watch Futurama. Over the span of like a week and a half to 2 weeks, Abby watched the entire series with me, and she really enjoyed it, and I'm so glad she did.
I've started watching Parks and Rec again.
Such a good show too.
It is. I skipped the first season because that's what I was told in the beginning when I was starting to get into it. Of just skip the first season. It's good after that. I think after I finished it the first time, I went back to watch the first season because I wanted more.
And it's
But
just
yeah, I just
um
don't watch. It's fine. You
I
can pick up on everything. But yeah, as I'm going through, I'm like, ah, I love these characters. I love this show. It's just such a good show. So I'm forcing Brooke to watch it now, which also means that I can't binge it while I'm at work.
Abby has been doing the same thing with me, where I had never seen it, and she started making me watch it, and so it's a really good show. Honestly, I wish that were more streamlined than The Office, because The Office, I'm sorry, it's just terrible. It's not funny.
I started watching The Office a while ago, and I just couldn't really get into it. Granted, I don't know if I made it past the first season, and everyone says the first season is bad.
I did. I got past the first season, and it did not get any better. It's like, take dry humor and get rid of the humor.
It seems like it's all kind of cringe around Michael, and cringe is not my style of humor.
Yeah, Abby said it has good moments, but like they're so rare. You can get it just from watching like a 10-minute YouTube video about The Office highlights.
Well, honestly, you and I have similar enough sense of humor that I'm just gonna take your word for it and not watch the anime.
Yeah, I did get through season 1 and it was not worth it. I will say.
Anyway, go ahead.
I was just gonna say another show. If you like Parks and Rec, check out Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Really?
It's
is that a comedy?
It is. It's an American
drama.
It has some drama, but it's much more of a
dramedy.
No, there's a lot more comedy than there is drama.
I genuinely thought it was a
no. If you like had a slider of where like Chicago PD was on one side, I've never seen the show. I just thought about it, and then Parks and Rec was on the other side. Brooklyn Nine-Nine's like here towards Parks and Rec.
Okay.
That show is hysterical.
The same style of humor.
Yes, it is Parks and Rec, but for police. And there is like drama and there's action. There's a full-on storyline that takes place. It's one of those shows that like if you're gonna rewatch it, the first season is kind of because the first season feels like it was just trying to be The Office but for police, and then after that it's like it fills into its own little. I want to say rut because that's a bad term, but like into its spot. Yeah.
We're looking for.
Yeah, and so
anyway, welcome back to Two White Guys Talk About American Sitcoms.
But no, seriously, Brooklyn Nine-Nine is an amazing show. And then there's another one that Abby showed me. I don't remember if it's called Good News or Great News. But it's the same style, but instead of, being...
It's Good News.
It's called Good News. Abby just corrected me. But instead of being in a...
Makes me think of The Good Place, another good show, but I don't want to talk about shows anymore.
That's also a good one. But no, Good News, I recommend you to look into that. It's only 2 seasons. It got canceled after 2 seasons. But imagine Parks and Rec or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but instead of like inside of a police precinct or inside of a Parks and Rec department, it's inside of a newscasting station.
It's a little bit more
Okay.
random.
Yeah, it's a bit more random. And the last one I did want to mention was Superstore.
Luna just mentioned it in chat.
Yeah, she recommended it to me, and it's super good. It's
goes to watch though.
on
the watch list.
If you're looking for comedy or funny things, Superstore is a lot more recent. And actually they recorded and filmed some during the quarantine. Superstore was super good. Good Place, Good News, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec. All of those are great comedy. Just kind of like, they're just like good fluff shows.
Yeah.
I don't want to use fluff in the wrong term, but
unless I'm misunderstanding you, I think Parks and Rec, you do kind of have to sit down and actually watch it. It's not.
You can.
It's quick and witty, but it's not like. To get some of the best jokes are things that like you have to be watching. And the story is actually kind of good.
In the later seasons, yeah, there's definitely like tons of callbacks, but in the first couple of seasons, it's definitely a show you can just have on in the background. But the thing is, for me, I tried to do that, and it just sucked me in. Where I straight up just like, da-da-da-da, I'm sitting here playing, oh, hey, what's going on? Oh, wow, that's really interesting. Wow, they caught the drug dealer? And so, but you fall in love with all the characters, all of them grow on you. And so it's just...
the way Tom Haverford terms himself around. from season 1.
Oh,
to the
yeah.
last season.
I haven't
Completed
finished.
it.
I haven't finished that season, but yeah. I know he kind of turned some stuff around. I've reached the London Chronicles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still back at the early restart. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about TV shows.
Enough about TV shows.
Do you have anything else you want to mention, or?
I guess the last thing I do want to mention is, hey, Valentine's Day is tomorrow or today for some people. If you don't have someone, it's okay. Don't force yourself into a relationship. Don't ever go into a relationship just because you feel like you have to. Because, truth be told, if you go in and you're not happy, the relationship isn't going to make you happy.
And if you do have someone and it's Valentine's Day, guess what? You are not legally obligated to get them something just because of capitalism.
Abby got me flowers.
If you don't want to get flowers or a gift or anything, that is okay.
And a mug.
Just show your love.
Yes. Also,
If you're in a good relationship, you're probably doing anyway.
Also, if you're in a good relationship, chances are you're probably smart behind it as well. Hey, fun fact: everything for Valentine's Day is cheaper on the day after.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Get that discount Valentine's chocolate.
Slightly melted.
Mm-hmm.
Flowers are wilting a little bit.
For a treat.
Do you eat the flowers? I thought I was the only one. Anyway.
All right, with that, I suppose we'll end it at a reasonable time rather than at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, because
yeah.
Ethan still has some more work to do.
All right, so thank you very much for joining us.
Oh, I want to do one more thing. I just I want to end with like something that's a little bit more different for us. But I kind of want to start doing this day start doing this for all the podcasts that we do. The word of the day today is fastidious. Fastidious
I thought
is.
you were gonna do it this day in history.
Oh, that's what I was gonna do.
That's what you were gonna do.
Yeah. I'm gonna, you know what? Which do people prefer more, this day in history or the word of the day? Because fastidious is the day, the word of the day, which means like really extreme care for something. But today's historical event for the day of February 13th of previous years, 1945. The USSR captures Budapest after a 49 battle with Nazi Germany. That is too real. 1960, France became the fourth nuclear nation by exploding the 70 kiloton. Okay, why are these so dark? Why is Valentine's Eve?
Ethan, welcome to history.
Is there a happy one? The first British East India Company voyage departs from London today. That's a happy one, right? Well, it involves England.
Colonialism, slavery, but, you know.
I mean, you can tie everything to something bad. But first successful journey, right? That's a good thing.
All right, as I was saying, thank you very much for joining.
I forgot to talk about the James Webb update.
Oh, yes.
All right, so space time. I know this is like the third time we're ending it, but this is very quick. I don't have any articles behind it, but the James Webb officially set up. It actually has to take months to cool down because it uses infrared cameras, and the cameras are actually still hot from the launch, and so
it's just like shining a light into a camera, isn't it?
Yes. But the thing is, the normal quote-unquote cameras on it are working, and it actually took a selfie. I haven't been able to find that selfie, but it somehow took a selfie of itself. And here's a couple interesting facts about it. Once it is properly cooled down, the camera and the equipment itself is going to be around 10 degrees Kelvin. To put that in perspective, 0 degrees Kelvin is absolute zero, which means there's no temperature whatsoever. And then the solar sail itself is going to be around 400 degrees Celsius. That is the end facing the sun.
Neat.
So there you go. There's a couple of fun facts. The James Webb will be taking some photos. Hopefully we'll be able to view those photos on the next time. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the James Webb. They can take photos, but we're not going to get those deep, far distant photos until sometime in August or September. So, but yeah,
Okay.
Ben, do you have anything you want to update us on real quick?
I really like my keyboard.
Ben, really-
Also, I got. Well, my girlfriend stole a baritone ukulele from me as soon as I got it, like a year ago, and she finally gave it back, and I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Cute. Well, I mean, that maybe it'll show up on a song that you can listen to Ben on Spotify for.
Most likely.
So, but yeah. All right. I think that's everything. Everyone have a great night.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Bye.
Look forward to hopefully seeing you
2 weeks from now.
every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Thank you very much.
And thank you to
Have a great
viewers
night.
like you. Watch Futurama. Good night, everybody.